Hello YouTube, Captain Mac here, and welcome back to the channel. We are going to do something very different today. As you can see, we're going to be in our KingAir. I love this little livery. I don't remember where I found it. If I can find it again, I'll certainly put a link down in the description. But I just wanted to explore something different. So today's flight really is it's not a very long hop. In fact, I'll show you here what we're going to be doing today. And again, everything about this is going to be different. I don't know that we're going to make a series here or anything like that. Right now we're going to fly from KMTH, which is Marathon Airport in the Florida Keys. Small little airport. And we're going to fly down here to this tiny little airport, MUBR. And really this is, there's a few things I have in mind here. In part, I'm thinking, let me get rid of these weather barbs. I want to get to some airports that we just never go to. That's kind of part of it. And I'm kind of thinking about doing some like missionary runs. I think what I want to do is I want to make my way across here and over into South America and really find some of these very remote and very difficult strips to land at where we have minimal information going in. We're probably gonna have to fly over and see what it looks like and see, you know, how to go about the landing and all of that good stuff. That's kind of the plan here. That's what I'm going for. And so yeah, should be a good time. This is the default KingAir 350 that is in the sim, so there's a lot of stuff that does and doesn't work, but I think it'll be a good time either way. So what do you say we climb up into the cockpit and get started? Alrighty folks, like I said, everything about this is pretty much not like what we normally do. That's alright. These flights are just to have some fun and explore some stuff. And so we're just going to dive right in here. I'm not digging through checklists and all of that stuff. I'm just getting everything where I need it, and we're going to rock and roll. So we're going to start by throwing the battery on here. It's been a few minutes since I've been in this airplane. The battery's down here. Left and right gen can stay off for now. I do have an add-on for this. It's the GTN750 add-on. There's both a free version and a payware version. Again, I'll try to find it and put a link down in the description for you. I didn't pay for it. I'm using the free version, but if you use the paid version, you can get a lot of pretty cool features with this. I just didn't think I fly enough to justify it. So there you have it. Again, not going through a whole bunch of if my brain will work here, we're not going to go through a bunch of checklists and all that stuff. We're jumping in. We're going to have a good time with this. So we're going to jump right into engine start. We're going to start with the right engine here. We're going to arm the auto ignition here, and then let's roll it straight to start. Correct? Yeah, should go right into it. And we've already got the fuel on over here, so we should be good to go with that. While that's spinning up, let's take a look. We do have the flight plan in here. It's just a direct flight plan today. As we do some more of these, hopefully do some more of these, if you guys enjoy them, then we're going to have some flight plans that are going to include a lot of VOR navigation. My brain doesn't want to work. I'm thinking VFR navigation is what I'm trying to say. So we'll be doing some VFR navigation on some of them. But again, the idea here is to find these really tight, difficult airstrips. We want to find some that are really hard to get into. This airplane can land on a pretty tight airstrip. And because it's Flight Sim World, we can land it on one that's even tighter. So let's have a good time with it. Looks like you have to bring in a little throttle for that engine to finish the start, I do believe. I haven't done this in a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I've got that right. Can we turn the right gen on? I'm not showing it. Oh, okay, 7 on the torque. I mean, the engine's running, right? Yeah, we should be good to go now. Alright, let's go ahead and bring in the gen on that engine. I think we're good to go there. Let's go ahead and we can leave the auto ignition on, and that should be off now. Are we good here? Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. I thought we were. Haven't done this in a minute. All right, we'll get engine number 1 started up over here. We could pull the ATIS from the airport here if we wanted to. I could go to KMTH, let me pull the airport info chart. The ATIS, it's an ASOS 135.525. So if we go here to COM, it's not going to let me do that. 135.5 what did I say? 525? Yeah, 525. Enter, and then we get it transferred over. Let's see if it gives us the base off.
Hotel automated weather observation 2300 Zulu. Wind 106 at 14. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 2,700 feet. Temperature 32C, dew point 10C, altimeter 3004. Kilo Mike Tango Hotel
3004.
observation 2300.
I was doing two things at once.
Wind 106
Okay, let's transfer that back over because I don't want to sit here and keep listening to it. Cancel that out. Okay, so 3004 on the altimeter. There's the barrel up here. Isn't there another place to set it for this one? You can't tell it's been a minute, can you? I know we can spin it up here. Does that do it over here though? No, it does not. Yeah, I haven't been in this airplane in a minute, have I? Okay, I'm going to find where the barometric pressure is. I think it's actually on one. Yeah, it's down here. Yeah, so the problem is I can't really see it, right? So it's supposed to go to 3004, so I'm just going to do the cheater method, and I'm going to hit the Bravo key. I don't want to sit here and mess with it all day. Let's get set to flaps 1. I'm going to break away for just a minute. I'm going to get my track IR turned on, and then we're going to get rocking and rolling right away. Alrighty, so a couple things real quick. Our initial climb out is going to be to 10,000 feet. Because I'm not going to use their pushback, we're just going to taxi right on through these guys. I know that's not cool, but that's what we're going to do for this one because we kind of have to. If you don't know how to change your nav source on here, just click in the center of the compass rose and then choose your source up here. You can also go to more options to set your wind on here and so on and so forth. Click in the center of the compass rose again, and there you go, it goes away. Alright, let's get to the view we need to be at here. That's not quite it. That's the one I want right there. Track IR coming on, and let's recenter that. There we go. And let's get those brakes off. Brakes are over here on this guy. And it starts rolling immediately. And we're going to be taking runway 7, which is down here to our left. We're going to chop their heads off on the way out, and we're going to go through the airplane that, for whatever reason, is parked right in front of the the entrance from the ramp to the taxiway there. That's fantastic. Alright, I didn't put any trim on the aircraft yet. We'll trim it up here in just a second. Get around the corner here, and again, you know, these are not so much realism. These flights are just for fun, guys. I think we're probably good right there. This flight's about having fun. This is not about realism. This is about having a good time. That's what we're trying to do here. So, if you guys want to see a little more realism added into this, I'm more than happy to do that. Really, I just kind of thought, let's get in here. I just want to jump in, do a flight, just fire up the aircraft really quick. You know, I've got the Bravo throttle quadrant, which, by the way, if you don't have it, it really is a fantastic piece of kit. And you know, you're able to switch out from the airline handles to the general aviation handles really easily, which is just fantastic. We're looking good up here. We don't need any of those lights on. We do need to go down here and get pitot heat and stuff like that on. Here's the pitot heat here. Okay, maybe it doesn't want to come on. Let me get to the hold short point here. Alright, let's just make sure we got our lights where we need them to be. Nav lights are already on. Yeah, we're doing that again, are we? So it's oh my, I guess lights are just going to be a no-go. Pitos won't come on. Why won't the pitos come on? There's way too many things just don't work the way they're supposed to. I really need to finish setting up my... I need to just remove all those switches. That's what I need to do. Alright, fuel's all the way up. The pitch levers, prop pitch, that's what I'm thinking of there. The prop levers are all the way forward. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I've gotten so used to flying, you know, airliners, right? Remember, there's no toga on this. This is a short runway. We have flight directors already turned on. Again, we're only flying at 10,000 feet, not very high. We're going to roll right into it. It always does this little sort of delay. Watch. There, you hear that? How it slowed down a little for a second? Alright, let's roll. Let's fly. That's what we want to do. We want to fly, not roll. No idea what that is, but that was not smart. Me dive into the left there. Let's get the gear coming up. Maybe. Is the gear coming up? No, it's not. That lever will work though. Fantastic. Now, if you're not familiar with this, we're going to use the flight change mode, so check it out. We're going to go, I want to get my speed up a little bit first. Start making our right turn here. Pretty area. Flaps up. Now watch. If I hit nav, flight change, that put it at 181, right? Turn it off. I wanted it about 200. Maybe. Come on. There we go. 202 works for me. And then we can turn the autopilot on. And now we're navigating. Well, the autopilot's navigating. And we're watching it do it. Alright, so right now it doesn't look like it wants to intercept the well, it might. I mean, we're zoomed in pretty far. So we could zoom this out a little bit. Yeah, that should intercept it there. So that takes us into our climb, folks. Pretty straightforward stuff, like I said. Just looking to have a good time here. I am curious what you guys' thoughts are about doing it this way. Just jumping in, flying the plane, off we go. Let me know what you think, but what do you say we have a little bit of that elevator music? Alright, we're going to start our descent here in about 20 nautical miles. This one's a real straightforward, easy flight. But let me just show you the approach we're going to take a run at here. It is, at the moment anyway, it's the RNP runway 27 approach. We're not picking up the ATIS yet. It's actually not even called the ATIS. It's called the APHIS, which I'm assuming is going to give us the weather, but I'm not sure. It's Cuba after all. But either way, if we don't pick up any weather on the radio, we're going to shoot this approach, and we've got the wind information on our GPS or on our primary flight display there, and so we'll use that and determine if we need to come around here and circle the land or something like that. So final approach course is going to be 275 degrees, mandatory 1500 feet here at BR 527. We're going to start out, we're going to descend to 3,000 feet by BR 502, down here to Banos, and that's 1500 there, and then we'll make that right turn and cruise on in. Missed approach procedures, climb on track 275 until 1,000 feet, then turn right direct to BR 510. At flight level 040 or 4,000 feet. Expect ATC instructions. It's not a super short runway on this one. We got 5,906 feet, so I'm not too worried about that. Should be pretty easy and straightforward. Now, all of that being said, let's start getting ready for our descent. So I just have a little descent calculator on my phone that I use when I do flights like this. So basically we need to start descending around 20 nautical miles out, give or take. So we'll start out by just adjusting our altitude here. We're going to set that to 3,000 feet. The aircraft's going to continue to hold what it's currently got. And I don't know how well you can see that on there. I'll zoom it in so you can see. So there we go, 3,000 feet set right there. We could do the old press the Bravo key. So the altimeter is 3005 now. It didn't go up by much. There is some weather in the general vicinity of where we're at, but I'm not too terribly worried about it. And again, this one's super easy, guys. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to this. Now, the trick for the descent is we're going to use the flight level change mode, right? And as you can see, we're just hunting right on the edge of overspeed in there. So what we'll do is when we get close to that 20 nautical mile mark, I'll just roll the throttles back a little bit, let the speed slow down. But I don't want to roll them back too far, because once I hit the flight level change mode, I'm going to have to reduce throttles even further to make sure that we start the descent. That's how the flight level change mode works. It's basically VNAV speed. So if you've flown a Boeing aircraft or a you know, an Airbus aircraft, you're used to airliners, flight level change mode is essentially VNAV speed. It doesn't really do me any good to adjust the speed on here initially, because whatever speed I'm at when I first press the flight level change button, that's the speed it's gonna be looking for. So let's just say I reduce speed to 220 knots on here, and then I hit the flight level change button. As long as I hold 220 knots, the aircraft is going to continue to fly straight and level. But if I reduce speed below 220 knots, then the aircraft will start to descend. I'm pretty sure that makes sense to everybody. So I've planned 1,500 feet per minute for my descent. So let's go ahead and let's roll the throttles back a little bit now. Again, we don't want to roll them back too much, just enough to get the speed down, because I don't want to descend at 240 knots if I don't have to. So you can see I didn't roll them back real hard, just a little bit. And again, I need to roll the throttles back further once I'm ready to actually descend. So whenever I hit that flight level change button, even if I'm slowing down, it's going to lock in that speed. So if I hit it right now, it's going to lock in 238. There you go. And because we're still slowing down, it starts to descend. Now what I can do is I can reduce this speed further by rolling it down like this. So let's say I want to descend at 220 knots. Set that to 220. Now here's the trick. If my speed doesn't get down to 220, it's just going to hold the altitude it's got. I've got to reduce throttle enough to get down to 220 knots, or really to get below 220 knots to actually descend. So roll the throttles back a little bit further. Not a big deal. You guys get the gist of it. It's pretty simple stuff. Again, we're trying to hit 3,000 feet by the time we get to BR 502 there. And you can see I need to slow down quite a bit more to make this work substantially, because we want to descend at about 1,500 feet per minute. We're at 21.5 nautical miles right now. You might not be able to see it real well, but it is on there. That's our distance from the waypoint. So now you can see we're starting to descend. Now there's a couple ways of doing this. You can just kind of, the right way to do it is to slowly reduce the throttles to get the vertical speed that you want. Another way of doing it, if you want, you can just roll the throttles way back and then start to bring them back up. But if you had passengers in the real world, that might scare them a little bit. So I just rolled the throttles back a little bit. If you can see here, let me zoom this in a little. It's a little easier to see. So you can see we're at 1,200 feet per minute is our rated descent. If I roll them back just a wee bit more, you'll see we start to descend a little bit faster. And we're gonna have to descend a little over 1,500 feet per minute now because I started late. So there you go, and you'll see it'll settle a little, and then you see it's coming up to 1,650 now, you know, and it just kind of settles in there. So pretty straightforward stuff, easy days. You can see there's our island chain out there just off the coast of mainland Cuba there. So I'm going to continue this descent. We don't have super far to go. Actually, I don't think we have far enough to go to even get off of here. There's no point in getting off. Alright, joke's on me. I hit the wrong button again. It's not the first time I've done that, actually. I was trying to get to the right view so that we can turn on the track IR. And of course I got to recenter it. That is not center at all there, sir. Track IR has not been nice to me lately. I love flying these types of flights in VR. I don't know if you guys have ever done it. But flying in VR does not work very well for... if I can get my brain to work here, it doesn't work very well for recording videos. There's a way to do it, but my system just doesn't have the strength for that. So alright, we're 11 miles out. We're still at 6,000 feet. We got 3,000 to go. I'm going to descend a little bit quicker. Nose is coming over because I reduced throttle further. Now the trick here is, what I want to do is I don't want to just increase my throttles once I hit 3,000 feet. I want to continue to slow down. That's what I want to do. And remember, I got to get all the way down to 1500. Another way of doing this, and this is how I'll normally do it, I can actually reduce this to 1500 now. I hate that scroll. There's 1500 right there. Okay, and then what I can do is if I haven't crossed my waypoint yet, I can increase throttle to coughing in your face there. I can increase the throttle to maintain the altitude at 3000, or I can reduce the speed needed to descend, and it will automatically level off until it reaches that speed, right? And we're gonna have to slow down quite a bit anyway for this approach, so that's probably what I'm gonna do here. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. So this will be a fun one. This is, like I said, this one was just kind of randomly chosen. Looks like we're gonna just beat this weather front coming in here, so that'll work out nicely. But I think what I'm really hoping for is to really find some very remote little strips, even jungle strips. You know, we did we started at series Worst Place to Be a Virtual Pilot a long time ago, but it didn't really take off, pun intended. So you know, I'm not sure if you guys are really into watching these, but if you are, you know, let me know down in the comments. Now let's start to reduce the speed for the descent here, right? So just by rolling that down, you notice how the aircraft is leveling off. There's 3,000 feet right there. So I'm going to bring this speed all the way down to 190, right? And then I'm going to just bring in a little bit of throttle. There we go, see that? And so now it's holding, you know, just below 3,000 feet. But I'm still, my speed is still coming down. You see how we're still slowing down, right? And so you got to watch that, because we got to cross this waypoint at 3,000 and then start descending again right away, which means I'm going to have to roll those throttles back pretty quick. So we're just about to cross that waypoint. As soon as we do, we'll roll the throttles back again. We got a couple miles yet. You see we're almost down to 190, but it's struggling to get down to 190. Okay, there's our waypoint there. So go ahead and just reduce throttles, because we want to drop down to 1500 now. And then as soon, and I want to get to 1500 quick, because I want to start getting ready, getting set up for my approach. So coming on down, won't take us too long to get down there. Hey, we're just beating that weather, and how crazy is that? So the wind, it looks like it's going to be a crosswind. It's 3 knots right now, so that's good at least. Now keep in mind, once we hit 1500 feet, the aircraft is going to level off, because that's the altitude I've got it set to. And it's going to start slowing down. So we need to watch our speed closely, make sure we don't get too terribly slow. But we want to get ready to start bringing in the flaps and whatnot. And I want to do that before I get to BR 527, which is the waypoint where we start our descent there. And the reason I want to do that is because I'd like the aircraft to have itself pretty well trimmed up by the time we get there. So just bringing in a little bit of throttle, not too much. Almost to 1500 feet, and it's no longer on flight change mode, it's on altitude hold mode. So it's going to continue to descend, but it will descend a little quicker if I have a little less throttle on there. Everything's looking good here. Let's go ahead and get our props all the way forward. Fuel, I just left it where it was. This aircraft is not, it doesn't burn fuel and fly the way the aircraft would in a real world. It's a halfway decent model for a default plane, but I wouldn't call it fantastic. Alright, we're almost to, what is it, Banos? Almost to Banos. We'll make a right turn from there. We're just going to let the autopilot do the flying for now. 1500 feet, you can see some lovely terrain beneath us. It's a pretty area out here. I wanted to do the approach from this side just because there's more out on this side than there is on the other side of the airfield. And I've never flown into this airfield before, so should be interesting. Another thing about our speed is when we make these turns, if I get my brain to work, the aircraft turns, it makes a tighter turn at a slower speed, right? So you guys, most of you are already aware of that. The faster your speed, the wider the turning arc is going to be. So right now I'm letting my speed just creep down into the flap range there, okay? And you can see my angle of attack is, it's not super high. So I don't have to throw in flaps right away. I'm not in danger of stalling the aircraft or anything like that. But I am going to bring in flaps here pretty soon. And you can see even with as slow as we're going, it overshoots that quite a bit. I don't know, why is it turning at such a slow rate? It's like at half bank. Oh, I must have accidentally hit the half bank button there or something, or it did it on its own, I don't know. I'll go ahead and throw that first setting of flaps in. There are 3 flap settings on this. There should be 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Nope, it's just approach and down. Alright, so, and we can, once we're in that white band, we can bring in flaps all the way if we want. We're not going to do that. Look at that sunset. That is gorgeous, isn't it? Let me just reduce that speed just a little more, though, because I'm telling you right now, when you throw in, the gear's going to come down here. Watch the speed start to drop off. Oh, I got to hit the... Okay, there's the gear coming down. Speed's going to start to drop off because we just added more drag. Now watch what happens when I throw out that next setting of flaps. Let's just get her around here, get lined up. Okay, next setting of flaps coming in. Now watch that speed. Look at it, it starts to drop so fast. Okay, and then once we cross BR 527 here, I'm just going to take control of the aircraft. I'm going to hand fly it. Now I can just make out the runway there, right there. So it's a little bit of an offset approach, it looks like. I want to keep my speed around 105 knots, give or take, even on the descent. So let's go ahead and I'm going to cut off the autopilot now. There we go, autopilot's off. Reduce thrust a little bit, reduce throttles. And that's going to start us descending. And at this speed, I probably want to descend at about 550 feet per minute, give or take. So we need just a little more throttle coming out. And that's going to, see, by letting the autopilot sort of maintain this, maintain the speed I wanted while I brought in the flaps and everything, then I can just descend at 105 knots by reducing throttle. And we need to descend just a wee bit quicker here. So that's 600 right there, and I went over a little bit intentionally because it took me a second to get it down to where I wanted it. So our go-around altitude was 4,000 feet, so let's set that. Oh, drifting a little there. It's kind of hard to look over here and try to fly the plane. Okay, we're at about 500 feet per minute. We need to send just a touch faster for a minute here. Overall, though, we're looking fantastic. Okay, let's bring back in just a little bit of thrust. And that should settle us right around 500 feet, give or take a little bit. It's going to be a beautiful landing here. That was a little too much. Yeah, we're at 250 feet. Camo. So remember, you want to control your descent with your throttles, not with your, you don't want to constantly be trimming it out. See, there's 500 right there, and we're looking pretty good. So if I can hold that, I'm going to be happy with it. You can see we got a straight tailwind, but it's light. It's 5 knots. So I'm going to land with it. I'm not going to circle to land. We're at 650 feet per minute, but we're looking good. We're pretty much visual right now. Just brought in just a tiny bit more throttle. It doesn't take much. Small adjustments are going to make a big difference here. I don't know why I'm suddenly zoomed in as much as I am, but we're going to make it work. Okay, just pulled the throttles back just a little bit, and you'll see that nose start to come over. That's what I was looking for. But as it comes over, the aircraft speeds up, and so then it's going to start to want to climb again. So you got to find it where you want it. Stick your aiming point, which for me is right between here and the touchdown markers. Stick it in your windscreen and keep it there. No call outs, by the way. So we just got to stick her down. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, transition to level flight. Cut the throttles and just hold that nose off just a little. There we go. That was perfect. There's our reverse. Oh, that was... Oh, what's the freezing for? That was terrible. You see that? That was a horrible freeze. All right. Where are you going? The airplane's like wandering over here. It's like struggling to load in and all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, the landing was minus 256 feet per minute, so It wasn't smooth as silk by any means, but it wasn't a rough landing either. I don't know how I ended up zoomed in as far as I did. There's no taxiway down the side here. We got to turn around on the runway. So just slowing her down enough to make this turn without it being too uncomfortable. Let's go ahead and bring those flaps up. Bring in a little thrust. Camo. Not that much thrust. You have to remember, if you're flying this 350, the engines do not respond immediately. So let me give you an example here, okay? Right now I'm sitting at idle, okay? I'm going to push up the throttle levers. I'm going to say there, and then when I say there, that means the throttles are about halfway. Listen to the delay. There. It's a long delay for those to spin up, isn't it? So you got to keep that in mind when you're flying this airplane. It's going to take them a minute to spin up. I do need to get my all of my switches fixed so I can do what I need to do with my lights and so on. But that's the gist of it, guys. This is a cool little airfield here, something new. This one was easy. I mean, this is, 5,000 feet, easy airfield to land at. When I was just goofing around, I don't know, a couple months ago, I was just doing some goofing around with stuff like this, and I was using the air hauler program, and that gives you a bunch of random places to fly to. And I gotta tell you, there were some airfields that I went into where it was just astounding. Like these tiny little 3,000, 3,500 foot airstrips sitting on the top of mountains and stuff like that. It was just absolutely awesome. And I was thinking about that earlier today, and that's what made me think about doing this series here. Or it's not even a series. I mean, it's just for fun. But you guys, really, I definitely want to get feedback from you guys. Let me know down in the comments. Do you guys like this? Is this something you want me to keep doing? Look at that taxi line is going to take you, like, literally you're going to run right into the fuel tanks where the bus is parked. Anyway, yeah, let me know if this is something you guys want to keep doing or what. There's the reverse. I couldn't get that to work before, but I got it to work now, so that's kind of nice. Okay, let me turn track IR off here. There we go. And let's get the dome light on. That's just the panel lights, right? Which one's the dome light? Pilot instruments, floodlight. That's the one I was thinking of. Floodlight. There we go. Okay, so shutdown for this thing, it really just doesn't get any easier than this. So let's go ahead and you bring the props all the way to feather, right? So feather the props, and then all you do is cut your fuel. There's the engine spooling down. That takes care of that, and then once the engines are shut down, you can turn off the master avionics if you want. There we go. That's the little okay, we'll continue, thank you. And then right gen, left gen, and battery all off, and that means that's gonna wrap it up for this flight, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it's gonna be nice and short. These are just looking to have a good time. It's not all about procedures and stuff. It's more about just flying. That's something I feel like I've gotten away from a little bit on my channel, is just piloting skills, being able to fly the airplane, right? So, it's great to use the autopilot, and obviously we'll always make use of autopilot. There's no reason not to, but just being able to fly it, get the plane set up for an approach and then hand fly that approach in. And some of these airfields we're going to go to, or that I'd like to go to, there's no approach There's no approach procedure. You fly over the airfield, figure out which way the wind's blowing, and figure out the best way to make the approach, and then you fly it. And I've gone into a few that are just really cool, and so I thought it'd be a lot of fun for us to do that together. So again, you guys let me know down in the comments. Look at that view back there, it's gorgeous. Let me know down in the comments if you guys like this. If you do, I will definitely do more of these. They don't take a super long amount of time to put together or even edit for that matter. So it's pretty quick and easy for me. If you guys enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. Write something in the comments though, and if you have suggestions, hey, if you know of an airfield that's going to be a really tight, tough airfield to land in, especially in a KingAir 350, something remote and hard to get to, let me know. I'll gladly fly into it. I think it'll be a great time. If you think I earned it, please hit the subscribe button, click on the little bell if you want to get notifications, and if you have questions, comments, concerns, moans, groans, or complaints, you can put them in the comments. That's it. That's all. No more, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, as always, keep the blue side up, unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all, and have an absolutely fantastic day.